day does not go by that free market capitalism somehow just rears its ugly head in the worst way possible, no matter how many times it can do good. Just like this tweet we see with the recent announcement of Commander brackets, game changers, and unbans coming in April. Cards that have recently been banned out of the format shooting back up in price. And it's something worth bringing up because it's not just about Rudy's minions from Alpha Investment coming into full storm, manipulating the Magic the Gathering market or mass buyouts. It's more so about the sentiment around the Commander ban list. And what I want to do in this video is not go over some of this, but also talk about 5 cards that I think can come off the ban list. Although I should say this is in no way financial advice. You should not go buy these cards. These are cards that I actually only own 2 of. I only own 2 of these cards on this list, and I plan to keep it that way. I don't want to spec on certain cards. Heck, if I need to play one of these cards, I will either just buy it after it gets unbanned at a crazy price, or I will just proxy it. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's about accessibility. It's about people being able to play cards. You should be open and honest about proxying, have that conversation with your play group. But ultimately, I think these cards should be game changers. They have power level, if not equal to or less than cards that are already on our game changers list. As I went over yesterday, cards that are legal and should be on the game changers list. I'm going to use this video to go over banned cards that should be unbanned but go on the game changers list. So making sure that the bracket 3 players cannot abuse this actively. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, then comment down below. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I'm always open and honest about my EDH opinions, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more of that this year, regardless of the constructed content I put out there. But for now, let's hop right into the tweet. Thank you to everyone who noticed my fresh cut, by the way. Yes, I'm looking fabulous. But when it comes to something from our dear friend over here, Mr. Saffron Olive, we have some responses here that don't really make a lot of sense. Like, we have someone down here I was seeing, it would definitely be like, where is it? Jewel Lotus was a marquee rare for 2 different Commander products. The rules committee was insane for thinking Wizards would be okay with a banning. Now, you have to think about the fact that Wizards of the Coast came out full stance saying that they don't want people to be rewarded for harassment. They don't like that in the community, and they ultimately want these cards banned to dissuade people from playing it. People are now, we're also saying in my video previously that I don't care about the harassment, which is dumb. You should care about other people's lives being threatened over cardboard, but they were saying that now I am not able to play with these cards. Those decisions were made outside of me. Well, you should get involved. You should be vocal. You should be, get involved with opinions like this and call out bad actors in the community that have these type of opinions. A lot of times folks like this need to be able to speak up, because unfortunately a lot of things happen around us that are outside of our control that we are a part of, and now we are affected by downstream decisions of. This is the reality of the world. So in a world where you can actually take this to your advantage, in a world where proxies are a thing, in a world where rule 0 is allowed, they have even come out and said that the bracket system is a framework, but it's not a hard rule set. Yeah, at the end of the day, Commander and EDH is a gathering type of format when it comes to Magic the Gathering. It's about having these open and honest communications, the rule 0, the friendly banter back and forth. It's about the conversation and the people you meet along the way. So have a conversation with these people and say, hey, I do want to play Mana Crypt. I still have a copy of this. Can I play it? Oh, I have this CDH deck. Can we play some casual CDH? As in, like, I have a meme commander that's nowhere on the meta. Can I put some Mana Crypts in there? Like, yeah, that's probably perfectly fine. You're going in with this rule 0 conversation, and then a lot of people are okay with, as long as everyone's equal and honest and open and consensual to the opinion at the table. That should be perfectly fine. You can still play with Dockside Extortionist. You can still play with Jewel Lotus and Mana Crypt if the tables allow you to. You just can't do it in your CEDH tournament. Boo-hoo, you are the one being able to afford like reserve list cards. This is like a first world problem if you're a CEDH player caring this deeply about how you cannot play Jewel Lotus. Now, Jewel Lotus is a bit of a contentious topic considering how much it was like, it's very Commander focused and how much of it was meant to be marketing for the Commander product when it came out with Commander Horizons. That's a whole different discussion, but I think at the end of the day, it's not coming back. There's a reason for it, but you can still play with it because the rules of the game, the rules of the format allow you to, because again, there are barely any rules. There are guidelines. This is not a constructed competitive format. Folks, get with the program here. Now, when it comes to the cards themselves, this is what we're talking about here. Dockside Extortionist, literally like overnight, February 11th, February 12th, February 13th, within 2 days, back up to pre-ban values. This was at the point where, you know, it banned overnight. There was a big like kind of resurgence on it. People were thinking, oh, it's still going to be, you know, kind of that expensive. People, they might unban it, whatever. No, right back up. So with the unban announcement talking about how in April at the end, there are going to be some unbans. Oh, I realize I'm like hiding the image. Let me just go back down here. So right back up, my bad folks, right back up to like $80 USD. So there were some conversations about how a card like this, you know, cards similar to this on the ban list could be unbanned in April. There are no bans coming once we get the full implementation of the bracket system. And so when it comes to something like this, of course, people are going to get excited. They think, oh, Wizards is going to fold to the pressure. They want to sell cards. No, they're not bringing back Jewel Lotus. I don't know why this is spiking all the way back up. They're not bringing back Mana Crypt. Now, Mana Crypt has a bit of a less move to it. This is still restricted in Vintage and has a small world in the constructed area of things. I'm actually surprised it dipped that low, but I mean, hey, not many people are playing Vintage, so it is, you know, kind of coming to that. But what I wanted to use the rest of this video was with all of that in mind, what are some cards that we can look forward to that will, in my opinion, get unbanned in April, and provide some reasoning for that. So let me move my camera back up here. When it comes to these Commander bans, there are 5 cards that stick out to me. I think I'm more opinionated on like 3 of them. There's like the first 2 that I'm like kind of looser on. I could definitely see them staying on the ban list. But to be fair, based on like Rule Zero conversations and the variety in the format and the depth of the format with the way that they're implementing game changers, I think a lot of cards on the ban list currently can be policed pretty well. So there's a lot of arguments for and arguments against. I think like it's a vocal minority to talk about like these bad faith like Commander play groups that a lot of people come up against. And it's unfortunate when you do have the only local game store in your area be full of Commander players that you don't like, or you're a constructed player and it's just a Commander LGS. It sucks when these things happen. So we do need to have an open and honest conversation about situations like that. It's just hard to cater to it because that's not the majority of the experience. The card that I think can be unbanned and brought onto the game changers list is Gifts Ungiven. A favorite Storm payoff of old in the modern format. Gifts Ungiven is an instant, blue and 3. Search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Pretty easy in a singleton format. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards into your graveyard and put the rest into your hand. Usually what happens, for those of you modern players out there that remember, this was always done in a determinate way where you would take advantage of the cards in your graveyard and the cards that are put into your hand. So obviously there are ways where this could just be a way to tutor up your 2-card combo. There's no restriction to it. To be fair though, Vampiric Tutor, Diabolic, every Imperial Seal, all of this stuff is legal in the format. This is instant speed. It does cost more. It grabs multiple cards, and in scenarios where it can feed your graveyard, graveyard's an extension of your hand, blah, blah, blah. It does do more, but I do believe that this is perfectly fine considering the fact of where the bracket system is being enabled. I think with something like Gifts Ungiven, it makes it so the open field of bracket 3 gives enough breathing room to only have 3 game changers, to the point where Gifts Ungiven being one of your only game changers actually makes this card worse and easier to balance. Now, when it comes to bracket 4, yes, that is optimized Commander. So obviously you're going to play it there. You're going to find your 2-card combos. But I think making this a game changer actually puts it in line at a good number for bracket 3. If you were to keep to 3 game changers, maybe even 4 game changers, so that this isn't being like abused along other things. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm a bit looser on this one. I can see how this would stay banned because of the fact that it grabs 2 cards, it's unrestricted, and the fact that you're usually putting this in situations where you can take advantage of the cards going into the yard, take advantage of the cards in your hand, and no matter what combination there is, you usually can just abuse it in some way, shape, or form. You can flash things back, you can cast them again, whatever. Another aspect that I think works against this card is the fact that you get an opponent to choose 2 cards. A lot of times when it comes to cards like this, it's just going to be like a bunch of table politics are going to open up. A lot of people are going to open their eyes like, oh, they're casting gifts Ungiven. I'll be the player. Can we kind of come together on some of these cards that are being chosen? This is what it is. This is what it is. It's up to you. Like, you know, you don't show them the cards, but you say, okay, these are the 4 cards that I'm looking at. What are the 2 that I'm putting into the graveyard? What are the 2 putting in your hand? You're still following the rules. It's up to the other 2 players to believe you or not. But then you can make a group decision as to how to interact with something like this. So Gifts Ungiven, I think, can be unbanned. Prophet of Kruphix. I'm actually, look, I've told this story before. I just started playing Commander for I just started playing Magic in general for about a year. Back when Prophet of Kruphix was banned in Commander, right? I started playing Magic in general. That was a minute ago. Actually, it might have been longer. Who knows? Regardless, I was there for the Prophet ban. I was one of the OGs. I was there for the Prophet ban. And I was not only the Prophet of Kruphix player, but I was the Bribery player. I've been a blue player at heart since I've been playing Magic. And I was the Bribery player. One of the reasons that Prophet of Kruphix was banned in Commander was because the game revolved around Prophet. Prophet was just one of the best cards for that effect. You briberied for it. You kept stealing it. Everything revolved around killing that thing or grabbing that thing. Prophet of Kruphix, untap all creatures and lands you control during each other player's unstap tap, and then you may cast creature cards as though they had flash. Now we do have parallel effects to these, but they tend to be split up. The second half of the text is on one card, the first half of the text is on another card. That is the problem with a card like this. Now, this is 5 mana, it is a 2/3, it is in, you know, arguably one of Commander's best colors, but I think this is very balanced based on the efficient removal in the format, based on the amount of content creators telling you to play and build better decks. I think the Commander player base can handle Prophet of Kruphix. Sure, put it on a game changers list. I don't see how in 2025 Commander, where we have dedicated Commander product from every single set coming out, new cards being injected every single year, how Prophet of Kruphix could still be a problem in this day and age based on how far ago that it was banned and the reason that it was banned for. When's the last time you had Bribery resolved against you? Bribery is being cut in decks. I don't even play Bribery anymore. I play it sometimes. If I go into like an open field, I don't want to play Bribery. Bribery is best, those type of effects, like the steal effects or just looking at your opponent, like doing stuff like that is best when you know what your meta is. If you're going into a wide open field, I don't want to cast Bribery. I don't want to do that. I gotta look at, someone's gonna convince you to look at this person's deck. All of a sudden cards are doodoo caca. I don't want those doodoo caca cards. I want Prophet of Kruphix. Unban Prophet of Kruphix. This card's perfectly fine. Okay, Lutri. I feel like I should have swapped Lutri and Prophet of Kruphix. I feel stronger on Prophet than I do on Lutri, so maybe take Prophet as my number 3 and Lutri as my number 4. Kind of loose on 4 and 5, as I was mentioning. But Lutri, honestly, I think the reason for this was still kind of dumb. Like, we have the current iteration of companions where you have to pay 3 to put it in your hand. It's so much more televised. I think the argument existed when you could just cast it straight out of your companion zone with flash. No, like with current iteration of companion, this shouldn't be a banned card. This is, the reasoning is dumb. Oh, it's a free resource every deck. Like, you have that with game changers. You're saying game changers are literally cards that you are admitting to yourself, saying that all players want to play these cards, so we have to artificially limit them. That is what Lutri is. Lutri is fundamentally already a game changer, right? You're saying that was the reason for it. So just unban it and put it on the game changers list. Make this a game changer so that those decks can play Lutri. The tier 3 decks, the bracket 3 decks can play Lutri as one of their options. Let them have it. The 1s and 2s will never touch it. I'm going to be honest, the 3s will probably never touch it as well. Let them have it. It's perfectly fine with the new companion errata, paying 3 to put it in your hand. It is 6 mana to copy an instant and sorcery for a 3/2 otter. Let the Izzet decks just have it. It doesn't matter. This is now such a weak argument to me. This card fundamentally acts like a game changer to me. It is by definition the game changer. You only play it in specific decks. It takes up a whole slot for a game changer for the bracket 3 decks. It costs 6 damn mana. 6 mana to fork something. No, come on, get out of here. It doesn't matter. I don't care if all these decks just play this randomly. You will just use up you're using up a game changer slot in your 3 bracket to play this. And then if you're playing this in optimized 4, I already know what you're doing anyway. Like, you're playing an optimized deck. That's fine. But you're using up a game changer slot to play this, and is it? You're crazy. You're either hyper focused on it, or I know you are literally playing worse cards in your deck, because this is taking up a slot. This is taking up a slot. Be real. Be so for real. Lutri can come off. Lutri can come off. Next card, Biorhythm. We all need to grow up here. Everyone, stop typing. Stop typing. Do not delete that message. Do not comment on my video that I'm wrong about Biorhythm. I know what you're typing. I know YouTube comments. I know what y'all are doing. Don't get me pissed off. I just got a haircut. I don't want to be mad. It's gonna make my fade bad. I got Valentine's Day brunch to go to tomorrow. By the time you're seeing this, it already happened. Don't mess up my fade by getting mad at me about Biorhythm. Biorhythm is perfectly fine. Green, green, and 6 sorcery. Each player's life total becomes the number of creatures they control. It is an 8 mana sorcery in green. You're losing to 8 mana sorceries in green? Expropriate does the same crap. It just takes more steps. Y'all don't get this. It's the same thing. The one player that gives the expropriate player an extra turn is doing the same thing. Some loser in your table is going to give the expropriate player, already a game changer, an extra turn, and they have functionally done the same thing. You have given the blue player that has somehow resolved a 9 mana sorcery the same functionality as Biorhythm. Come on, folks. You are letting much worse cards resolve these days. Y'all aren't even playing heuristic study taxes. You're not playing enough removal to kill the Smothering Tides. You're mad at Biorhythm? Be mad at yourself. Build better decks. We have unbanned Worldfire in this format. What do you mean we haven't unbanned Biorhythm? This is a joke. This is a joke. This card is perfectly fine. Let the Oathbreaker players have it for... I don't know about Oathbreaker. Just let the Commander players have Biorhythm. We have Worldfire in the format. We thought Worldfire was dumb. Worldfire is in the format. Let them have Biorhythm. Oh, it's an instant win against some players. That's their fault. They should be playing counterspells. You're not playing creatures, play counterspells. You're telling me the Planeswalker decks playing Humilities aren't playing some type of interaction and they don't have a way to stop Biorhythm? Once you make it available, if you use the bracket system, the game changer system, the 4 decks do not care about this. The CDH and the 4 decks do not care about Biorhythm. The optimized Commander players do not bat an eye at this. If they lose to Biorhythm, they're fine with it. The bracket 3 players benefit from this. This is such a terrible use of your game changer. If we expand the game changer list to be like 80 cards, this is one of it, which I think it will be. I honestly think the game changer list will be expanding. That's a whole other discussion. Once it's a mass of cards and you let Biorhythm be one of your game changers and bracket 3 stays at 3 game changers, you're literally making your deck worse, in my opinion. You're literally making your deck worse. There are other better options to be playing. You're playing a green player, you're a green deck, sorry, so you probably have a fair amount of creatures. If you're playing some type of blue-green base deck, you might have like 1 creature. Regardless, Biorhythm, it's not it. It's not it. I'm also just noticing in the Biorhythm art, there's like a cat in this one and like a wolf in this one. Is that like a lion and a wolf? That's so cool. I never noticed that before. I was really focusing in. Someone comment down below if you know what the animals in the eyes are. That's so cool. I didn't know that was a thing. That's so cool. Wow. Okay. Well, away from a little bit of yelling at y'all, that's actually really cool. So let's keep it going. Final card, Coalition Victory. Let's be honest with ourselves. Gavin Verhey literally brought this card up in the stream. He literally brought this card up. He was hinting at it. Stop commenting down below Coalition Victory shouldn't be unbanned. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You're so wrong. I'm so sorry someone hurt you like that. I'm so sorry someone hurt you to the point where you actually believe this isn't a good card. Like this is an overpowered card. There are so many problems with this card. It is a multi-conditional win condition that costs 1 of each color and 3 on top of that. It is 8 mana for a sorcery that requires you to win the game if you control 1 land of each basic land type and a creature of each color. Yeah, okay, if you played 1 color that makes all your lands this and you play 1 multicolor creature and like, no, this is like the biggest waste of a game changer. Who believes, hands up in the comments, who believes this is a good card? In the current iteration of the bracket system and the game changers, this is such a bad game changer, and in the best way. If your opponent is playing a Coalition Victory deck and they win with Coalition Victory and y'all didn't have the removal or the land hate or whatever to stop this, that's your fault. I'm sorry. Like, let me just peel off the band-aid now. That's your fault. Losing to Biorhythm. I'm still bad about Biorhythm. Losing to Coalition Victory in 2025 Commander is your fault. That's your fault. Play a better deck. You're in bracket 3. Be honest with yourself. What are you doing? And also, even if you lose to it, that's okay. You have to be able to lose to cards like this. That's a normal thing. Now you know this is one of their cards. You always have to be ready for it. You play accordingly. The table adjusts. It's not just one and done. You don't just lose to Coalition Victory once and your whole life's over. Your credit score doesn't drop. You don't lose your job. Your partner doesn't leave you. The mortgage doesn't default and you get kicked out onto the street. It's not over. It's not over. Folks, we need to grow up. We need to grow up. No, stop typing. Stop typing. Don't get mad at me. No, don't get mad at me. Coalition Victory needs to get unbanned. Be honest with yourself. We can all be better Commander players. I've advocated so much about better deck building. This is not it. This card needs to get unbanned right now. This can be a game changer. We can be a better Commander format. We can be better Commander players just by letting this stuff exist. Anyway, that is enough for my rant for today. That was the Commander Banlist. This is... Oh, it's crazy to me that people are specking on cards, but it blows my mind even more that people care this much about, you know, certain cards on this list. It blows my mind that some of these cards aren't banned. I think so many cards actually will be unbanned off the Commander ban list. With the recent changes they've done with Modern, the sentiment of unbanning and like how that's flipped, and I think they will see its success in Modern. I think they will be more likely to unban a lot of cards come April. I think it's about time. We need to expand the format. We need to open it up. We just need to do something wild, wacky, and fun. All the negative people with their Twitter fingers on the internet, let them stay mad. I think the vast majority of Commander players will not care. They'll be excited, trying out new decks from the content space. A lot of people will just be excited to see new builds and new combinations. It's just going to be an exciting time. Let these cards be unbanned. We can all grow up. We can all be better Commander players. Honestly, if y'all are watching this video this late in the video, let me know in the comment section down below if you want to play some Commander with me. I'm trying to get more games of Commander in with y'all this year in 2025. I got some decks built up. I proxied up some decks as well. I'm ready to play some Commander with y'all. Comment down below if y'all want to play some Commander with me. Let's keep the good vibes rolling. Let's play some unbanned Commander. I don't care. You can play whatever you want with me as long as you let me know. Then I can be ready for it. Let's play some Commander. Let's play a better format and let's just look towards a better future for you know, EDH as an idea, as the future of Magic the Gathering.